Was it cutting off on your side?
The but
Everybody here with Amy. Was it cutting off on your side?
little bit, yep,
It's
did.
freaking raggedy restream. I'm telling you, it's like, I guess it's why people don't do lives for their podcast.
Oh, yeah, because then you can edit all that fun stuff out. But,
I don't give a damn.
the
Who
fun,
cares?
that's what, brings everything like character is when when it don't go right.
Yeah, we were just talking about that yesterday about how they want your speaker reel,
Yeah.
or they want it to be edited. Now, like, well, then you're not getting you're getting a video. You're not getting me. You're getting
Exactly.
a video. I mean, anyway,
It
everybody,
depends on
Amy
your
Pease, how you
platform
doing
and your
today?
audience.
What's going on with you today? Tell
Oh,
everybody about
goodness.
you.
Just keeping busy, trying to keep moving forward.
Tell us all about you. Tell us all about who you are, what you do. What's going on.
Yeah, so my name is Amy Pease, and I'm the founder of Passion from Pain, and I help individuals who have suffered a toxic, mentally abusive, or kind of traumatic relationship in the past. I help them overcome themselves after leaving that relationship. So we end up getting hit with the depression and anxiety and trust issues and all the fun stuff that comes after leaving a relationship like that. And so I help people through that after leaving my own situation from my adopted family about 20 years ago. I spent about 20 years studying psychology, dark psychology, ancient warfare tactics, manipulation, all of it. And then, of course, my own healing journey. And so now I bring it all together to help others who have just left kind of overcome it so they can move on with their lives and just kind of put it behind them. And then also take that pain from the past, because it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there, but take it and use it as a fuel source to find your purpose and pursue your passions and all that fun stuff.
It's kind of crazy because, like, I mean, I had a great childhood. My mom and dad, all that family weren't like toxic or anything like that. But as I got older, I did see, like, and I didn't realize this until like I actually walked away and took time to myself, but how much that they were giving to my aggression, my freaking temper. I understand that we're the ones that ultimately are in control of ourselves. That's a given. I understand that. But once I stepped away from them for a little while, I was like, man, I don't have this temper I used to have. I don't get as mad as I used to. It's like, and it's like, you could see, I could almost say, okay, they just poke. And then when I would actually respond to it, finally had enough. And then they made me out that I'm the bad person. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And you don't realize it until after you walk away from it. You're like, son of a bitch, man, I could have, what?
Yep. And sometimes that's what it takes. I would classify my early part of my childhood as a very good childhood. And I had no idea, the manipulation that was going on at an early age. And I would even venture to say that, my adopted mother probably didn't understand what she was doing at the time either. I think she had her own issues, of course. And she was doing the best that she could, but of course it is causing some other problems, no doubt. You're good.
Sorry, I'm trying to put this in.
You're good. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like how much, and it was all the time. Like, it was like all the time, whether it would be my brother, whether it be my parents. Yeah, I have adrenaline disorder. So I have a temper. I have a bad temper.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a temper that much anymore because I eliminated the freaking source that was poking it all the time. I mean, you poke a bear enough, it's going to bite the hell out of you.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's exactly what happens. Absolutely, that's what happens. And sometimes our parents are doing it on purpose. Sometimes they don't even realize that they're doing it themselves. Our parents are from a generation where they didn't understand psychology a whole hell of a lot. And I don't know anything about your parents or anything, but that generation typically had a lot of PTSD going through, and they didn't even understand the half of PTSD from the wars and whatnot that was going on back at the time. And so they didn't understand what they were doing. They were just, and it's no excuse, obviously, but it is kind of what it is, and kind of an explanation as to why, they were the way that they were, and poked us and prodded and instigated,
my brother, like, totally opposite. Like,
but the important thing is that now that we know, okay, we get to be those generational curse breakers and be like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. We're not going there. I'm not doing that with my kids.
Yeah.
It's going to end with my parents. It's going to end with me. We ain't going there. And that's what we get to do with it. So that's the cool part about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like when I say me and my brother are like opposite ends of the spectrum, I'm talking like completely, like way, like completely opposite. Like he went one way, I went the other way. But it's like, but he is it's the same situation now. I mean, I love him to death, but it's just I haven't talked to my brother in over 4 years, which are like, oh, that's sad. It's really not. It's they've always saying families blood is thicker than water. Yeah, it is, but that bullshit is not.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been roughly 10 years since I've talked to mine, but he was the major aggressor in the toxicity that I was living through was actually my brother. And yeah, I haven't talked to him in about 10 years. And that's okay. You just go do you, and I'm gonna go do me, and be all right. We'll be all right.
I feel the same way. It's like, I'm gonna do me. And my biggest thing is like, if you have, everybody's gonna have an opinion. That's fine. You can have your opinion.
Yep.
But I don't have, you don't have to sit there and talk to me like and try to persuade me into doing what you think it should be done. And that's the way it was. Exactly. Like, oh, I don't think you should do that. You should do that. I'm like, okay, great.
Yep.
And you go on and on and on. It's like, okay, I heard you. And on and on. I was like, okay. And then you get to that point where it's like, okay, I done told you nice twice. This third time's not gonna be pretty. And the third time's not pretty. And I see the way you
are. Yep. And there they are poking, and they're pulling it out of you.
Yep.
And sometimes they want that reaction because they need to, confirm that you are that person that they think that you are to themselves for whatever validating reason that they need to make themselves feel better about whatever they need to feel better about.
100%. It's crazy because it's like, I don't even know how to answer that because it's so spot on that it's,
yeah.
They want you to be like that. Like they say, okay, well, whatever they think of you, there's no changing it. Like you get mad all the time. You get mad all the time for the rest of your life. That's it. Period.
Yep. And you get people who are trying to change, especially people who are going through like addiction recovery and stuff, and they're really trying to change. And then you've got the family that comes in and they're very skeptical. They're like, okay, we'll just wait and see. We'll just watch. We'll just wait and see. Instead of being supportive, they're actually, putting it out there that, no, I don't believe this is going to happen.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
No, not going to work. And so they put that on these people who are trying to do better for themselves, trying to change. And so what does it do? It perpetuates that stress and that anxiety. And so what do? They go back to, their addiction. And then there's the family going, see, I freaking told you so.
Yeah, because you're painting the reality for me already. You set me up for failure. It's like saying like you go into a relationship and the person before, let's just say I'm in a relationship, the person before me cheated on her. Okay, so now you think I'm going to cheat on you. Well, I'm already guilty from the door wide open. We don't not even try this because if you already looking at me as guilty before I even start out the game, I'm not.
Exactly.
Because you can't put somebody else's on me. I'm not taking responsibility for somebody else's bad actions.
Yeah. Nope.
A lot these days.
Yep. Oh,
a lot. I've been cheating. I've been this. I've been that. I said, well, I'm not the one that cheated on you.
Yeah.
It's like I actually had one that dated. Oh my God, this is crazy. She says, what did she say? I expect to be taken out once a week. And she said, I've been a mother long enough and I've been a wife long enough. Now it's my turn. I said, you weren't my wife and you weren't the mother of my kids. So you got to go back to him to get him to pay for that because I'm not. So it's like, I should pay. Now I got to come in second line and hey, okay, I got you. I'm going to take care of all the stuff that you put her through. I'm going to take care of it for you. Hell no. Yeah. No way. I'm out.
You gotta ask her, what the hell are we doing here then? I mean, I think we're both wasting our time.
I expect. That word I expect, I'm like, you barking up the wrong tree.
And if that's what she wants, cool, but yeah, don't try to wrap up some guy into taking care of you as if that's the kind of life you want. Cool, but
like
don't bring another guy into it, bring him down. That's toxic. That's drama.
I put the post out there that said, what do you think a man should pay for going out, or should it be, what should it be? And it
What's that?
was like half and half. Like, some said man, some said depends on who. And then one said it should be established before you go. I said, wait a minute. So if I ask somebody on a date for the first time, we're going to get on a phone call and say, okay, now who's paying for dinner? Let's talk this out. What? What world you living in?
Right. Yeah, no.
What's your
Yeah,
opinion
the way
on that?
I always thought about that is it's whoever's inviting, whoever's putting the invitation out there should be
Well,
the
it's
one.
90% the guy.
Normally, yeah, but usually on the first date, but for sure. I don't know. That's the way I thought about it. Anytime I invited anybody out, I always paid their way because I don't know what situation they're in. And I'm saying, hey, let's go out and do something fun. And I'm not going to put them in a financially precarious situation just because I want to go spend some time with somebody. So I don't know. That's the way I kind of always did it. And, me and my husband, when we were dating, it was just, kind of the same thing. He would pay some of the time. And whenever I would invite, I would be like, hey, dude, I got paid. Let's go have some fun. Let's go party for a little bit. But I can't do that no more. I'm too old for that shit.
The whole thing about, like girl expects the guy to pay every time. Like, what y'all think? The guy's rich? You think we all rich or something? We all working.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Well, actually, I mean, I did go to I tell people like this. Can't believe I even admit to this. But I went out on a bunch of dates when I was single, and I was like, I told my friends, I said, I'm not paying for any dates. None. I'm gonna get them to pay for every day. And he's like, everyone's like, yeah, right, that ain't happening. I said, okay, well, a straight year, never paid for one.
Wow.
I don't know how I did it. Actually, I was pretty straightforward. I was like, I actually said, don't push that bill towards me.
Oh, dude, you should write a book.
I said it when I was like, don't push that bill towards me, okay? Because I drove here, so I'll go to the bathroom when it comes here.
You'll make $1 million on that book alone.
But they look at you like, really? Like, you serious? And I'm like, no, I'm not serious.
Yes, with the climate of the dating scene right now, dude, put that all in a book. I can guarantee. Guys want to know how to do that.
A couple topics today. Start out with frustration. What's frustration to you? Like, what frustrates you? What do you think frustrates most people you see in your clients?
The biggest thing that frustrates most people is the stuff that they're not prepared for when they're going through this kind of healing journey, trying to pick themselves back up, is absolutely the stuff that they're not prepared for, and life just, kicking their ass.
That's what
a lot of times, you think when you leave a toxic situation, life's going to be beautiful. In fact, at the end of the relationship, you're dreaming about how beautiful your life is going to be without these people in your life, right? But reality hits, and then life hits, and then maybe some responsibility hits. Maybe you didn't have that before. But that's the biggest frustration, is the unknown stuff. And so that's what I try to help my clients plan through, is some of those unknowns. What are we going to do when, the bills are coming due?
You heard that word you just used?
What's that?
When. Not
exactly.
If.
Oh yeah, no, when. Exactly. And that's what we, try to put into them too. Just because it's not in front of you right now, you got to plan for what's coming. You got to foresee, the shit coming down the road, because if you can't do that, and it's not to say that you're not going to get blindsided once in a while, you are, but the more you prepare for and the more you plan for, the more it's just going to be able to roll off of you super easy. It ain't going to get through to you. It ain't going to frustrate you. But it's absolutely the things that they ain't planning for.
I just gave a talk last night on that.
Did you?
Expecting to be, I'm not saying as I tell people, I'm like, look, you got to just be prepared for the worst, like you just said. But I'm not saying you're not going to be sad. You're not going to be, you will be. But when something happens, somebody dies, something, whatever happens, somebody breaks up, when it happens, you just got to want to face it and just keep moving forward. Don't slow down. I mean, you got to slow down a little bit, but don't stop. Just keep moving forward. If you stop, it's over.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing.
And if you got to slow down a little bit, don't kick yourself in the ass about it, just pick back up where you left off and just go again. Too many people get caught up on the fact that, oh man, I'm so mad at myself because I had to take a month off from doing this. And, so what? You had to take a month off. It happens. It absolutely happens. And so now you just look at your notes. Where were you? Catch back up and then just jump back in. That's all you can do. And, you just go like that, and then you'll just go.
I call it the speed bump effect.
Yeah.
I tell them, like, look, speed bump. Just like in life, you come up to a speed bump when you're driving, you don't stop, get out of the car, and wait for it to move. No, just like if a problem comes, when a problem comes, slow down to the problem, go through it, take care of the problem, and then hit the gas, keep going. But don't stop. If you stop, that's when it breaks you, and that's when it's so much harder to get back into that gear again.
Yep.
Because life doesn't stop.
Oh, hell no. Oh, it ain't gonna stop. Not for nobody. It'd be like, you know what? Michael's having a rough day. Let's just stop everything right now. Let him catch up. Shit.
We have a lot of stopping days.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be wonderful if life was like that?
I'd still be 11 years old.
I know, right? Exactly. But, you know, it's not. And so we have to be able to prepare for that. You know, not only, you know, things around us to make sure that we have financial resources, you know, we've got also that we're prepared emotionally and mentally to handle that kind of stuff, you know.
But, I mean, we are human, like you said. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to get sad. You're going to get.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And in my sphere, one of the biggest things that people worry about is, you know, their abusers coming back into their lives and causing problems. And so I'm like, okay, you're having a lot of anxiety over something that you're worried might happen, and you're losing sleep and you're losing time on the things that you want to do, not to mention you're disconnected from the things you want to do because you're so anxious and worried. So what we're going to do is we're going to plan out exactly what we're going to do if that's going to happen. If this person comes back into my life, here's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I've got it planned, and I'm going to put it somewhere I have easy access to. And that way, if it ever happens, I'm just going to pull this paper out and know that I've got it handled. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
You do pepper spray, baseball bat, then gun?
What's that?
You do pepper spray, then baseball bat, then gun?
Exactly. Something like that. Whatever you need. Whatever you need, you know. Some people, you know, it is having something like that available, you know, because they've got a real asshole that, you know, is pretty violent. And some of them, call
me up. I'll help you out.
Yeah. Right. And some of them it is that extreme, and some of them it's as simple as just, you know, a neighbor or a family member's phone number, or, you know, 911, or just having the strength to not answer the door, and, you know, just calling the cops and getting them off.
So crazy people like that.
Oh yeah, they're out there though, unfortunately.
When I went to the gym last night, it's crazy. It's like it's 24 hours. It's a big gym. It's not like a little anytime business, but they have somebody there overnight. And 2 nights ago, it was a girl, but I'm like, I cannot believe that y'all leave a girl here by herself. The doors don't lock. They don't have I said, y'all need to put a button where they can see who's at the door and then let it open. Because what's she going to do? If she called the cops with it.
Oh, there was a viral video not that long ago of this one girl who was in that exact situation. It was a 24-hour gym, and she let somebody in because she thought they had forgot their pass. So she let them in. They didn't have a pass. And of course, they tried to attack her, but she whooped their ass. I was like, yeah, you go. But, you know, you don't know. You gotta be
prepared. This one doesn't lock. It's crazy. I think I mean, you pay. So that's what I don't get. You pay extra to have that 24-hour access. Yeah. But the door doesn't lock. So how do they change that? They need to change it. They need to put a lock on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. The one that I have here in town, they've got a magic key that you wave and it locks. If you don't have that key, then you can't get in.
That's what they should have here. Yeah. I mean, you think they would have that here, but it's like, I mean, where it is, it's like, it's like dead center where I'm at. It's right there by the causeway, by the bridge that goes to New Orleans. But Mandeville at nighttime is quiet. If everybody's sleeping there, it's a quiet town. But so if the cops come, by the time they get, it takes a matter of 2 seconds. That's it. You're done.
Oh yeah, it don't take long. No, it don't take long.
And then you give them if you give somebody pepper spray, I mean, that's not gonna do anything but piss the dude off.
Yeah, for sure. You might get lucky enough to spray him enough to maybe start to run.
Bear spray.
But now he's mad.
Well, I see the one with a taser. I'm like, you don't want that dude that close to you.
Oh, hell no.
You gotta get him up in your face to hit him with that. You don't. You're gonna grab that thing out your hands so fast.
Yep. Yeah. I don't go anywhere without my little pistol, because nobody's gonna do nothing to me or my little kids. So I'm all good.
Exactly. It's great. Yeah, we know they want to make those gun laws. It's like just newsflash: the gun laws already in place. The people that have the guns that are committing the crimes ain't supposed to have a gun in the first place. There's a law for it.
Oh yeah, most of them are illegal guns to begin with, but you know, but that's where we are right now. You know, you have to have something.
I think in Louisiana we don't have to have there's no concealed license anymore. You can conceal without a license. Can conceal carry too.
Oh really?
No license.
That's cool. We got to do ours here.
I mean, it's an extension of your home. You have cars. I mean, it's like a friend of mine,
That's
his dad was sitting in New Orleans East, but over here is horrible. It's like a war zone. If I ever got caught over there from when I had my company, I would not stop at red lights or stop signs. That's how bad it is. I'm
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But
we
his friend,
visited there.
a friend of mine's dad, he stopped at red light. Somebody came up to his car, his truck. He had his gun in his lap. He shot through the door, unloaded, through the door.
Wow. That's crazy.
What I tell people. I said, look, somebody pulls a gun on me and they don't pull the trigger right when they pull that gun on me, they just made the mistake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. I'm like, oh, please no, please don't. I think that thing. I get him scared, and then I'm gonna turn around and grab that. I'm not gonna kill him. I'm gonna make him feel it. I'm gonna give him a little.
Gonna stop him. Make him think twice about that activity again. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, frustration. I see that. Like, I get frustrated a lot. You know, especially doing what we do. I mean, it's sometimes it's frustrating. Like you get walls and it's like, what am I doing? I'm sitting here and that's going from doing what I was doing to, I was busting my butt every day, all day, 12, 14 hours a day. And it's like, now I'm in front of a computer. Now I'm like, and everybody's like, oh, I wish I had that life. It's great. Yes. But it's a totally different world. You got to get used to it. You just sit there and you're like, there's nobody here.
Yep.
I'm not talking to people all day. It's like, I'm in jail. You know, it's not bad, but it's like,
feel like that sometimes. Absolutely. It can feel like that, and then you don't have anybody else to really, hey, good job, you're killing it, you gotta be able to do that for yourself, and that's awkward. Especially
I want somebody to just kick me in the ass. That's what I need. Just shut the fuck and do it. Just come over here and just smack the hell out of me.
Right.
And I try to get people. I'm like, I try to get people that are in my life that like, no, come on, get mad at me. She's like, I can't. I don't know. I'm the type of person that's I'm get it done. Not everybody's like that,
No, they're not. And you find that out in this sphere. Some people, they're going to take a month to get back to you. Some people, like you, 5 minutes, here we go. We're done. I'm somewhere in the middle, kind of depending on what I got going on with the kiddos and all that fun stuff. But
the thing I see about it lately, I mean, I see it all the time, is that they think that people who think that your coach, that your world is perfect. I'm like, you don't think I have stuff that goes through my mind sometimes. A mindset coach, yes, I still do, but I get through it faster because I do. But I'm not a freaking robot.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. And that's one of the things that I explain to my clients and in my content and videos is that, the depression, the anxiety, and all of that from my past, it comes back, and it comes back out of nowhere. The difference is I recognize when it's coming before it hits. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I know I've seen the patterns. I recognize all of it. So I know when it's going to hit, and I can usually tell how bad it's going to be before it even hits me. But I also know how to kind of pause and figure out and assess and see what the hell is going on so that I can address it. And I can either stop it or pull myself out of it a hell of a lot quicker than I used to be able to. So it's, you're human, and it's still going to happen. It's still going to come back, but it's how you deal with it. Because now that I know how to deal with it in myself, and that's what I teach people, figuring out how to deal with it in yourself. That's what you got to do. I mean, there is no getting around it. I mean, you have your anger issues, and so how to control it. When you're going to get triggered, how to pull yourself away if you need to, so that you don't get yourself into trouble, so that you can just avoid it, right? You know it. And so that's what you do. And, same thing with being a coach, when all of it's coming at you, you kind of know, you can feel the frustration. You can feel when you need to step back and take a break. And that's the difference between being able to be a coach and then being the client,
And not a guru.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, these gurus.
These gurus, yeah. They're no. Yeah.
I want to change the name of coach. I can't say coach. I don't want to say coach anymore, because it's like people think coach, like, oh, I'm not a coach. See, I saw the other day this dude. I saw an ad for this guy, a 19-year-old life coach.
An 18-year-old life coach.
He's 19. I'm like,
19.
Buddy, you just stop wearing whitey tighties. What are you talking about?
You just got out of preschool, but
you still got skid marks in your drawers.
Right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're starting to see a lot of that too, and a lot of these business coaches too that want to teach you. I'm seeing more of them pushing away from the billionaire, and I'm going to make you a trillionaire, and they're like 20.
But they don't tell you what it takes to get there.
No.
You know,
No,
like
they
they show you a
don't. And
Lamborghini.
then,
Look, if you ever see an ad with me with a Lamborghini behind me, shoot me in my kneecap. Because that doesn't prove me anything. You go rent a car.
exactly. Have you seen those videos of these Airbnb hosts that are calling out some of these business coaches? They're finding out that they're renting like their cabins and stuff, and making all these cool videos. Oh, look at this cabin that I own, and you can have this too. And then the Airbnb like owner is like, yeah, no, that's my property. He rented it. Here's the receipt.
It's crazy. But you know, that's the problem today with society.
Yeah.
They see the glitz and all they see is, oh, look what I can have.
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna just go, and he's not a magic genie.
No.
And that's great. You can have all that, but still, you don't have the mindset to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna lose it all.
Oh yeah.
Because a rich mindset, you take everything's gonna be rich again. A poor mindset with rich, you're gonna be broke as a joke.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Why do you think so many people, end up broke again after winning the lottery? more of them do than it don't change their life. In fact, it sometimes makes it worse.
The stuff they buy, it's like, what is wrong with you? I mean, these people that nowadays the money about they win. I saw a lady in California. She's the sole winner of the, what was it, $1.2 billion lottery, the biggest winner ever. Sole ticket, no other ticket hit.
Yeah.
So if I say, let's say what you get what? Let's say what you get clear about $550 after if you take it all at once, $550. Then you pay 40% tax. Well, California, I don't know what you pay. But let's just say you get $250 million.
Yeah.
I could take $100 million and take the other 150, just stick it somewhere.
Yep.
Take $100 million and do whatever I want, buy whatever I want. And actually, guess what? Everything's paid for.
Yeah.
I don't owe anything on it. I got $150 million in there. If I have any maintenance on it, that'll pay for it. And if I'm not using the shit, I'm gonna rent it out.
Yep.
How you go broke? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's because they just can't stop.
I ain't buying everybody nothing. You ain't getting nothing.
Because they haven't fixed what's inside of here.
Now.
Yeah. So that money doesn't fix what's going on in here.
First I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy like 1,000 cell phones with 1,000 numbers.
Yeah.
Every day I get a new cell phone so nobody can call me and ask for money.
There
Tuesday
you go.
phone, Wednesday phone. I ain't gotta worry about nobody saying, hey, you remember me? Nope, I don't. Click.
Nope. Yep. There you go.
Your friends and family can come out the woodwork.
Mm-hmm. Uncles you never knew you had.
Mom,
did you have this brother? Oh, no, I didn't have no brothers. Are you sure?
Yeah, I know that's a big thing. Like with families too, is when it comes to somebody dying, that family's going. You watch how fast that family's not family.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've seen it firsthand.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. That's when everybody's true colors really start to come out.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Or if you're going through some issue and like watch how fast your family turns before your friends do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why friends and family, man, they're the ones that'll screw you over first. That's what they always say. But absolutely, family's going to do it first. Why? Because of sayings like blood is thicker than water, and they'll get over it. Or exactly, but that's what it is. They ingrain that into us. And so people can justify that they will be forgiven because you're family. That's why family will screw you over first before anybody. It is what it is.
When I had my home and garden center, friends and family are the ones that never shopped at my store.
Oh, yeah.
Never. Now, if they did, you know what the first thing they ask is? Discount. Yeah. I said, what do you think this is? I said, I'm here to make money. Not freaking go broke. Well, I get customers come in, they're like, what's the price? There's a price. Is that the solid price? I said, do you go to Walmart and ask if that's the real price? Because we're not gonna negotiate. This ain't a wholesale store.
When I was a bartender,
I had one lady say, what if I buy a bunch of pottery? I'm like, what's a bunch? She said 3. I said 3. A bunch is the back of your truck. No, 3's not kind of bunch. That's a couple. That's cute.
Funny. Yeah.
Next thing what are we gonna talk about? Oh yeah, that's the biggest thing is. Because that's all right. So I call it like, so you have 24 hours in a day, right? I say 24 hours, 24 moments. So I just talked about this last night too. So if you're, let's say Fred pisses you off at 9 o'clock. Well, you have till 10 o'clock to be pissed off at Fred. Because,
Okay.
and the thing about, so how many people say, oh, that just ruined my day. Why? You gonna let that ruin? Well, you gonna let Fred ruin your day? No.
Yeah.
You pissed off for an hour. Once 11 o'clock hits, boom, start over.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like. So I'm not letting others control your mood. That's the topic I talk about. It's just, that's a prime example. So you're gonna let somebody else control your entire what your day's gonna be. I'm not ready to do that.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, no. And I used to, be that person. I used to be terrified of confrontation. And so people would walk all over me because I was terrified of, having somebody, not happy with me. That just used to kind of be the way that it was. But I'm not that anymore. I learned my lessons and I learned how to stand up. Are you there? Did we lose you?
Can you see me?
I cannot see
the screen.
You're good. I just see me, but that's okay. There you are. Oh, we got her. Look at that. I like it.
Yeah, see that big old like that QR code right there?
Yeah.
It's either that or Restream, their logo, and I'm like,
oh,
I've made that background 10 times, and I thought the T would fit every time, and every time it doesn't. I give up. I said, I'll move that thing. I'd have it over like this far, and I go to load it. Bing! I said, I think that QR code gets bigger every damn time I put this down.
I know, right? It might.
I don't even know which one it is up there.
Excuse me, but yeah, letting people, control your mood like that. Yeah, you can't let them do that to you. And it's hard, especially when they piss you off or they get to your emotions and they hurt your feelings. Usually what I do is I'll take 10 or 15 minutes, and that's usually all that I need, just enough to calm down and then get my head right. Like, hey, no, Bob ain't going to do this to you today. Fuck Bob. So get back into whatever I'm doing. Because Bob's got nothing to do with my life and my mood, especially when I used to be, and when it used to really bother me was when I was in the restaurant industry and a bartender, you'd get assholes that you'd work with or asshole customers, and, you'd have to roll it off really quick. Otherwise it's going to affect your money for the rest of the day. And
That's
so
what if you're with them all day long? How do you handle that?
That sucks, but you take your little break and you get over it. And if you need to, man, you pull them aside and like, hey, man, we need to get over this because this ain't okay. I don't like how you talk to me. And sometimes you need to do that with some of the coworkers. And if they're not receptive to it, that's when you go to the manager and say, hey, this guy's being an asshole or whatever. But usually, all it takes is pulling them aside and letting them know that, hey, you're kind of being a douche right now. And they're like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Most of the time they don't understand because they're stressed too.
Who you working with is that easy?
I know, right? No.
Man, you live in a nice world, damn. I would like to talk to somebody. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like,
maybe it's an Oregon thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just everybody out here. But no, I mean, especially in a work setting like that, they're more likely to be receptive to a conversation like that because they got to work and they don't want to have any problems at work for the most part. I don't know. Maybe it's an Oregon thing. The guys out here, I don't know. No, but that's what I would do. Usually it'd work out.
I have somebody says, what do you say? Okay, so you tell them how you like what's going on and what they're doing or whatever like that. Okay, like basically you caught them doing something that they lying to you about or whatever. It's frustrating, right? And they say, well, I'm sorry that your feelings are hurt. I'm like, what kind of response is that?
That's it.
My feelings ain't hurt. I'm just trying to tell you what I caught your ass. Yeah. And just be cool and admit it. And
and then what you do with that is now and you bank that information, okay? And you put it in your little file that you've got on them in your head. And now and so what you can get into with people and not, that's just all about human connection and interaction. That's how we decide if we're going to pursue certain relationships with people or not. I'm going to stay away from this guy because, he's a lying son of a bitch. He'll backstab me, obviously, and he don't care.
See, that's what people ask. Like, so when I went through my divorce, they're like,
Mhm.
how you date? I was like, well, I look at it like this. The next person didn't do what well, I didn't like, I never even thought twice that the next
Mhm.
person was going to do that,
Yeah.
because she did that. I'm not going to hold that against somebody else, but
Yeah.
God, it's so
Hard.
crazy today how that people don't do that. They
Mhm.
go into a relationship thinking they're going to do it.
Oh yeah, they will. They will. But they don't always understand that difference. They're so wounded sometimes that they don't understand that it's a different person. They're just guarding themselves. But that's what happens when you don't deal with the issues, that you have surrounding
Mhm.
the toxic situation that you went through. So
Yeah.
that's why going through, a healing journey, I don't like to use that word because, I mean, you really don't heal things, you learn how to get over it and you learn how to deal with it is kind of more of a way to put it.
Yeah.
But you go on that healing journey, and then, you figure out how you just deal with it and move on, and, learn how to not perpetuate your fears and anxiety onto other people. But that comes from fixing the things in yourself and
Mhm.
addressing the issues that you have around the toxic relationship that you just got out of.
All right, let me ask you this real quick on that note. So
Yeah.
the word regret,
Uh-huh.
okay, what does it mean to you, and do you have any regrets?
Regrets. So regret, is kind of missing the things that you wanted to do, or meant to do in your life. And do I have some? Sure. Um, but I don't let it like destroy my life. I
Yeah.
just use that as kind of a tool. Like, okay, I regret that I didn't do this, and I can see where it changed the trajectory of my life. But had I gone that direction and not this direction, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now, that I really love to do, that I think I was put here to do. And so I kind of get over it pretty quick that way. And then I just make sure that, I jump on all of the opportunities that I know feel right for me. And if they don't work out, like if I can't afford to pay 10 grand to go on a major studio production podcast, that's okay. I'll go on these smaller ones, and that's the way I'm supposed to go. So I'm
Mine's
not going
only
to
20 grand.
regret going on, not going on that big show or coming up with the money for it,
This one's only 20
because
grand, everybody. She wanted to spend
oh
more here.
yeah. Yeah, no, I got called by the Brad Lee show and they wanted like
Yeah,
25 grand.
I know. I was
I was
like,
like,
what?
and it's cool, yeah, you're gonna get the exposure and whatnot, but I'll inch my way up.
Yeah.
It's one thing for a smaller podcaster to charge a little fee to help with advertising and production, especially if they're just starting, and it's another thing to pay a guy who's got $1 billion 25 grand. But especially when he's getting all of the money from YouTube and all of the platforms are paying him and he's getting his advertising money, and then he's going to charge the guests. I don't know.
I say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing is that I look, now listen, hold me to this.
Okay.
When I get to that point, in coaching and everything, if and I see it, then they don't do it. But if I see somebody that's putting in the work, continually
Mm-hmm.
putting in the work, they show up. They're not just showing up though, but they have the heart, they have the desire to do something.
Yeah.
But they need that little boost to get up there. And I had that little boost I can give. I'm gonna give it to them. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say, oh well, look, for 20 grand, I'll show you how to get up that boost. No,
Yeah.
it's like, and it's today you don't see anybody giving that little. Let me just help you a little bit. Nope, I can help you. I know how to get you over that boost.
Well, and
20
it's
grand.
almost exploiting somebody's vulnerabilities too.
It
I don't
is.
know.
That's what the boy. Man, I had to get. That's talking about exploding something. Had to get air in my tire, right? The
Oh,
gas station around the corner charges $4.50 for air.
oh, damn.
So if you're stuck with a flat tire, they got you.
$4.50 for
That's a
air.
ripoff.
You need to get one of those like ones in your car.
I do. I have one, but when I say
Okay,
like my
good.
tire, like it was the gas station around the corner, and it has like my tires. I have like big mud tires. I had
Uh-huh.
like 7 pounds of pressure.
Oh,
I had a
wow.
nail like this long in it.
Dang.
It like went in it and went sideways.
That sucks.
But I was like, my little pump that I have is great, but I'm gonna be here for
Gotta,
about a month.
that wasn't gonna do it.
If it don't burn up first, because it's got to get a
Right.
tire off the ground. But so I just rode on just tread all over there. I'm like, please don't come off my rim. Please don't come off my
I know,
rim.
right? You're that guy hobbling along. Everybody's like, look, laughing, pointing and laughing. You're like, oh God, not me. I get it. I've been that one.
I forgot what we were just talking about. Oh, regrets. Oh yeah, regrets. Okay, so regrets. All right. Well, how you say regrets, but then you say, okay, so the way I look at regrets are, I don't have any because I will only regret something if I didn't learn something and grow from it. Then I regret it. So that's how I look at regret. So if you didn't learn anything and change something, so you don't have that, then that's a regret to me.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it for sure. I regret that I let my family, kind of take advantage of me the way that they did. I absolutely regret that, and where I let it go to the point that I had to lose contact with my family. I absolutely regret that, but it's
But you wouldn't be here today doing this.
exactly. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So, yeah. I mean, that's where I'm saying, yeah, I kind of have regrets, but on the other end, they've absolutely changed, not the regret, but it's changed the trajectory of my life. I wouldn't be here where I'm at right now. I would be doing other things. I don't know if that would be a better situation or not, and so you got to wonder too, thinking about that kind of stuff, is it even productive to think about what would have been
It could have been anything.
And it's more productive to think about, okay, the future decisions I'm going to make and where they're going to take me and the plans that I'm going to make for the future. Way more productive. But that's not to say to not reflect on the past and pick up on the patterns and all of that. That's where we find the healing, and that's where we find the insight, and where we can figure out our triggers and whatnot. So absolutely reflect and pattern recognition in our past. Do that, but don't get to the point that you're just thinking about past decisions and wallowing on them.
See, I'm the type like so. I think that even to the smallest thing. So if I get out of my chair right now and I walk that way instead of walking that way, I feel everything in my life could be different just because I took that step that way instead of that way.
Yeah.
Like I think that, like, I believe that everything happens for a reason. Even like if you get I say this too, even if you get in a wreck and it's not your fault, think about what you did before that led up to that. What did you do wrong? What were you not doing right? And is this a sign to tell you, hey, whatever you should have done, you should have been doing it, or you shouldn't have been doing it?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We were, where we live, we're about an hour's drive from the Oregon coast, and we decided to take the family on a trip. And we went to the coast and had a great day on the beach, in big lifted truck, and, driving the truck on the beach and four-wheeling in the truck and doing all that fun stuff. And then, about 30 minutes on the way home, the freaking engine in the truck just explodes. All the kids in the car, and it just kaboom. And then we have to move all the way over. We're like freaking out, scared, and the kids are crying, scared, because it was loud. And so we're there on the side of the road, and we're like, crap, what are we going to do now? And we're in the middle of a no cell phone zone. So we can't get any cell service whatsoever. It's nighttime in the middle of nowhere. We know nobody around there. And
the hills have eyes.
There's exactly, the next town is like 20 miles,
Jeez.
so I mean, we're out there. And then all of a sudden, man, this little God, what was she driving? She was driving a Subaru Outback. Drives by, and sees my husband and my son kind of starting to walk the 20 miles to town. And I stayed with the rest of the kids in the truck, and she sees him walking with my son, and she pulls over, and she decides to pick them up. And he's like, well, wait, I got, my wife and the other two in the truck. The engine just blew. And that woman, she was on her way to dropping a friend off in the complete opposite direction of where we lived. But she offered to pick us up, drop her friend off, and then drive us the extra hour home, and then drive all the way back home. Come to find out, She was, and on this drive, we learned so much about her. She was at one time, a nun. She had a podcast of her own, and I was just talking about getting into podcasting. So she had a lot of information for me, and she really put a lot of like hope and I don't know, excitement into me about what I was about to get into. So this was right before I started doing all of this. And so we ended up taking her out to dinner. Thank you, because she wouldn't take any gas money or anything. Took her out to dinner.
More people like that.
Info, and it was like, you know, God put that woman on that road at that particular time, you know, to pick us up, to save us out there, and then to give me the pep talk that I needed, because I almost didn't go in this direction. You know, I almost just said, screw it all. But it was that.
I say screw it all every day.
I know it was that conversation though that made me turn the freaking cameras on. So, so you know, there you go. Like, you never know what those bad situations are going to turn into.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I would never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing today. Hell.
Oh yeah, no, me neither. As shy as I used to be. Oh no. But you know, it was that journey that I went on, and all the studying I went on, and then finding my courage and my strength within me. Now I'm so outspoken, and I really don't give a shit what people think now. Before it used to be, I care a lot about what people thought about me, and they had to have a good impression about me, otherwise it destroyed me. But not anymore.
Somebody's opinion, none of your business.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a them problem.
I've been honest. Like I can sit there. I could always sit there. I could talk to a wall.
Yeah.
I go in the grocery store, something like that. I can talk. They're like, Mom, you're like, you know them? I'm like, nah, I don't know them.
Yeah.
What? You talking to them like you do? I'm like,
yeah, it's okay.
I'm gonna stand in line for 20 minutes with somebody. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit there and just look at the back of them and not say anything.
Exactly. Look at the back of their hair.
It's crazy. It's like, talk to somebody. I was like, I have a friend of mine. We went out somewhere. This was like 10 years ago, in academy, and he had a friend with him. And he's like, he's doing something to try to like mess with me and embarrass me. And my friend's like, dude, I would not go down that road, because you're not going to come out of it winning on that one. I was like, dude, you're not going to embarrass me. I said, I went around the academy naked. I don't give a damn. He's like, well, go ahead and grab that scooter and go around the whole academy, past the registers and screaming out. I'm like, okay. He's like, I didn't think you were going to do that. I'm like, I don't care. Who cares? It's like, what are you going to see? You going to see this person ever again? No.
Yeah. No.
I mean, sometimes I got to the point where, like, when I used to play competitive tennis, and I was bad about this. I go to the net, they introduce themselves.
Yeah.
By the time they let go of my hand, I forgot who their name was, because I probably were never going to see them again. Yeah.
I'm terrible with the names too. And I tell them that. I'm like, you're going to tell me your name. I'm going to forget if I ever run into you again. But and they're like, you know what? I'm going to forget too. So it's okay. And then
because how often do you call somebody by their name though?
I know. You don't.
I'm like, hey, Amy. No, you don't say, hey, Amy. That's like, hey, what's up? I don't ever say somebody's name.
How you doing? No, it's usually how it goes.
It's not like, hey, Michael. No. Shut up.
No. Yeah. Yep. Like, what's up, bro? What's up, dude?
Okay. One more other thing is, I mean, how do you think about the actions so the choices and actions that we make in life? Should you say, okay, I regret that I made those actions. I regret I made that choice. Or do you feel that it was a choice I had to make at the time, and it is what it is?
Yeah, I talk a lot about, not having any guilt or regret for the decisions that we've made or the things that we've done, because you made the best decision that you could, or you did the best thing that you could with the information that you had at the time, with the resources and the tools that you had at your disposal at the time. Mm-hmm. Hindsight is 100% 2020, and none of us have that kind of vision, right? And so, you can only piece it together with the information that you have and the tools and resources at your disposal at the time. And you do the best that you can. And so when you put it in that, you're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't know that, she was cheating on me. I didn't know she had a boyfriend behind my back, So yeah, if I'd have known that, I'd have definitely made different decisions back then. Right. But You know,
If we knew that, we'd all be freaking billionaires right now if we knew everything like that.
yeah. Oh, dude, we'd all be winning in the gambling circuit. You tell, I wouldn't be doing
Exactly.
this. Wouldn't be doing
It's
this.
like whenever I went through my divorce, she had me arrested for freaking sending emails to her because she got a restraining order.
Yeah.
But she got the restraining order for no reason. It was once it all came down and said and done. She was hiding stuff. She just didn't want me seeing it.
Yeah.
But it's like she wrote herself 2 emails and they said they were from me. And
oh, sneaky.
Yeah, and had me arrested for it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's crazy what the extent that people do to cover up what they're doing wrong.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. They will do the dirtiest things to keep from getting exposed or to, get to whatever their end goal is in screwing somebody over. They'll stop at nothing.
Like, I mean, it's one of the biggest thing. Like, I mean, I would love to know what she told. I'll never know. I don't really care. But it'd be nice to know that what she told everybody, because she had everybody in her family against. Everybody thought I was horrible. And then at the end of it, it was like, wait a minute, how the hell did this?
Well, she needed everybody to believe her, and so that's what they do. They're going to go around and they're going to spread their lies. They're going to make sure that everybody knows her side of the story first. Because
now, I wasn't no angel. I wasn't going to say I was an angel, but nobody is. But at the end of the day, I mean, you cheat. Why don't you just admit it?
And, yeah, exactly. Why go on? Why destroy everything? And
I don't know. I just can't go your way. I go my way. I don't know why people can't do that. Okay, look, you're not happy together. Cool.
Yeah.
You go your way. I go my way. We split everything. Bye bye. Bada bing. Bada boom. Yeah. Don't go to the point where you still selfish. You just take everything that person has. And that's what I mean.
And that's just being vindictive, and that's being selfish, and that's just being a manipulative, narcissistic, or psychotic
come back around and bite your ass.
And usually these are the type of people that do have, some serious mental issues that they need to deal with most of the time. You find more.
One thing about that, like I didn't hold, like I didn't see, never did I say like, oh, I never called her any names, never said she's anything, because at the end of the day I said, she is who she is, and at the end of the day, it's gonna come back full circle to her.
Oh yeah,
karma is a bitch. Karma is a bitch.
Oh yeah, and it's a thing. It's a thing. Absolutely.
You get what you put in.
100%. I have seen karma.
You get out of it what you put into it. Exactly what you put in the world is what you're gonna get out of it.
Exactly. I have seen it in action. I have seen karma kick some people's asses hard, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine. He's a big Christian. He's like, karma. There's no such thing as karma. I'm like, karma. You want to call it karma? You want to call it karma God, karma Buddha, karma genie, whatever you want to call it.
The idea of karma
whatever
is
you put into your mind, that's you controlling whatever it is. That's it.
The idea of karma is in the Bible. It 100% is. There's a verse in there, and I'm not well enough versed to know exactly where it's at, but there's a verse in there where it talks about you don't go out and get revenge. God will take care of these things for you. That's karma. And then the same thing, you do good by people and your neighbors, and then God is going to reward you. That's the idea of karma. So people do bad, God's going to take care of them. People do good, God's going to take care. Either way, God's going to take care of it. So, I mean, the idea of karma is there. It is a Christian thing. They just don't want to call it that.
It depends on which way you look at the book that they read. You look at it that way, you look at that way, you look at that way. You get the.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's on how you perceive it.
It is. It is.
Tell everybody about you. How do you get in touch with you? What do you do for people? How does your coaching work?
Yep. So you can go to passionfrompain.com, or you can visit any of my socials. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I just started my podcast that just launched on Spotify, which is all under the Passion from Pain title. And then courses available for purchase on passionfrompain.com. I have the course Finding Strength After Toxicity, which is a beautiful foundational course that helps you build the strength and the courage to face the things that you need to face and go on that healing journey. And it gives you a tremendous amount of resources and directions that you can go, because that healing journey is not one size fits all. And so it gives you so many directions that you can go. So if something isn't working for you on this journey that you're going on, there's 100 other directions that you can go. So it's all about being able to notice, that and recognize that it's okay if you veer off course, but how to pull yourself back is the most important part. And we teach that in these courses as well. So it's a beautiful foundational course to get you set up for success to continue your journey from there. I do have the second part of that course coming out in May called Wounded to Warrior. And that is where we learn to take the pain from the past and we learn how to turn that into the fuel that helps us pursue our passions and our purpose and discover what our purpose is after leaving abuse. And then how do we take all that toxicity and all that pain and just use it to propel us forward. And so that course is a really transformational one that's coming out real soon. And I'm going to need beta testers for it too before I launch it. So if you're interested in being a beta tester for that, please reach out to me on any of the socials or my website. And
I'm gonna have all your information on the video when we repost it after we put it back up. So some of yours will be on mine too.
I love it.
All right, don't log off when I log off.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, everybody. Hope you have a good day, and we will talk to y'all next week on Monday. Thanks for listening.